What's going on, y'all? I'm up here at my high school where I graduated from in Compton. Y'all know I'm supposed to wait for people to get on, I heard. Mr. Moore. Yeah, I'm up here in Compton at Centennial High School. We got the brand new, updated 2017 auto mechanic shop. I want y'all to check it out. They updated the mechanic shop, brought it back to life, put a lot of money in here. Look at this, we got brand new lift out here. And we got some donated car engines, newer engines. So the young people got to learn how to take them apart, pull them out the car, take them apart, put them back together, fix them, etc. That's that old stuff right there. That was here when I was here. But this is the new stuff. There's some more of those engines. They had two engines. We got to take the whole engine apart, show these students how to take these apart and fix them and put them back together or pull the whole engine out. That's some motor hoists, some engine stands. Y'all see this new floor to the electrical, walls, everything. This is the auto shop part. Okay, that's the lift. Now we got another new lift over there. New books. Y'all see this floor is shining. Y'all see the new sinks. New air duct for the HVAC system. Y'all see they still working on it. Not only are they going to learn how to work on cars, they're going to learn how to take them apart and put them back together again. So this is the mechanic side. So now they done made it bigger. So you got a mechanic side, and this is the shop, the class in here. So you see they doing this one now. They just put the new floors in here, new HVAC system. A lot of people is on board with this automotive stuff because they know the money involved in it. So honestly, I don't think the auto mechanic supply houses liked. I don't think the auto mechanic supply houses liked when the school systems decide to pull the auto shops out of the schools, because they started losing money and it made it harder for them. So they had to turn around and start doing stuff themselves. So now that the school, we got them to put the auto shop back in this school. We got people donating all kind of stuff because they want us to do this, because they know it's too much money being made. And when people can't get their cars fixed and all of that, people start buying new cars. And these guys is making billions of dollars on making parts for cars, for used cars. So they need people to fix them. Now, the school people wasn't trying to fix the cars. People wanted to go to school and get liberal arts degrees and all that stuff like that. But long story short, mechanics is making a killing. Now, you think about it. If you're the only one that's a mechanic and everybody you know got a car, you're going to make a whole bunch of money. So it's like, now that this mechanic class is back here, it's like every time I go out and somebody find out about this, they be trying to give me something. Oh, y'all need this? You need that? I'm like, man, let's get it over there to them. It's like this guy gave us two brand new engines out of like 2014s. I think these was Hondas, the guy said. He just gave them to us. He said, how many y'all need? I'm like, how many you got? He was like, we got about 14 engines. I said, nah, this is going to be 2. You know, we came up. Look at this. Taking the speedometers out, engines apart, just totally restoring cars. That's where the money is at, y'all. You know how to work on the car and you start a shop, you're going to become a millionaire. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You do it right, handle your business. And they got new doors. Been painted. Y'all see this new electrical? Working on motorcycles. Y'all know what's so cool about this is I got a lot of connections in the auto world. I know I talk a lot about low riding, but what I don't really be talking about is, how you doing, brother? What I don't really talk about is the fact that I came out in the 90s, early 90s, when the aluminum wheels started getting popular. So I got to meet a lot of those guys and people like that, the manufacturers, the guys who's making them 20s and them 34s. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of them cats personally. So I get to call them and say, hey, I got a class that I'll be sponsoring, and we want to come up there and do a field trip. They be like, come on. You know, so it's cool when you're a business owner and you got connections, you know. It's hard to tell someone no that spent millions of dollars with you over the last 20 years, you know. Buying your products, or you doing a good job, a good deed to help your community out. Tell them, man, I'm at the school I grew up in. They like, what? Bring them on. So we doing our second field trip, you know. So I see a lot of people talking about giving back and helping. You'd be surprised at what give back look like. A lot of times people give money. Money is cool, but connections and resources is cool too. Sometimes people don't have money and they can just make some phone calls and say, hey, but yet, I mean, they don't have the money, but then they got people, they got friends, they got resources. They can make a phone call and say, hey, I need you to donate them car parts you got to this school. Or I need you to open the door up at this such and such, and we're going to have a field trip. Y'all know I love them field trips because schools kind of be outdated with their information. They want to take us to places that really don't do nothing for us. But for me, I'm like, field trips need to be like to see cars, to see businesses where the money is being made for these cars, you know? How money is being made. So we took a field trip. We went to the race car track, Pomona Raceway, to see where the loan money is. Them guys building them race cars. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm just walking around, thinking and talking all at the same time, looking at what's going on. It's crazy to be in Compton. When I was here, it was like, man, it was crazy. It was a whole lot of nonsense going on. Some of it I contributed to, but I guess that's why I go so hard in helping these young people, you know what I'm saying, make sure they ain't got to go through all this type of stuff. You know, when I came into this game, the schools was 100% college. Let me come on this side. The schools are on 100% college. They want everybody to go to college. I was the first person that came into the schools and said, I started a business with that little that diploma y'all gave me, and I made a whole bunch of money. Here goes some magazines I'm in. Here goes some videos I had something to do with. Here goes some celebrities that I know. You know, they looking at me crazy. They said no one has ever told them that before, so they didn't see the value in starting businesses or having a trade. They pulled all that's why they pulled it all out of the schools. So now that I came back and started volunteering and doing public speaking and telling them all, man, I done shipped cars overseas to Japan and Germany. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring some of them up here. I'm going to bring the guys up here with me, you know. I'm bringing a lowrider guy up here with me, and they like, what? So I turn around, not only do I talk about it, I prove it, I show it. You know what I'm saying? They looking at me crazy. So fast forward the story. Now they done funded these programs. And man, it's like I get to make phone calls and have my homeboys come up to the schools and these business owners that I know, you know, let's do some field trips and come out and see them. So we doing some amazing stuff today. I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna show y'all about it. You know, I just love helping these young people because when I was a young dude, you know, we had big action at selling drugs and joining gangs. You know, I didn't have to join shit. I grew up in it for some weird reason. You know what I'm saying? So people was guilty by affiliation. Like, oh, you live there. So now, people didn't tell me. I didn't know I was from a gang until somebody told me I was from a gang. How about that? So, oh, you grew up over there. You from that neighborhood. I was like, I am? Like, for real? Like, I didn't know that. Like, yeah, you are such and such. I said, oh, okay. I guess that's how that worked. But long story short, wasn't a lot of options out here. Hey, Miss Hughes. You know, so for me to be able to come back to these schools and turn around and tell them my success in the auto industry, and now they pumped a bunch of money into it to get this thing going, and now we get to do field trips and get to talk to these young people, inspire them. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody was coming up here. Nobody was coming up here really talking to these young people. They get a lot, matter of fact, I'm sorry, they get a lot of police, they get a lot of district attorneys, they get a lot of people who putting them in jail come up here and talk to them on career days. So for me to come up here and start talking business to them and bringing lowriders and actors and rappers and business owners. Oh, that's the PA talking. It's a whole nother level, you know. I get to leverage my name and pull some of these resources. So now all of a sudden Centennial High School got a badass auto shop. So I'm going to play a major role in converting some of these young people into some successful business owners. Y'all hear what I'm saying? It's like because I've been in the game so long, you know what I'm saying? I'm over 20-year veteran in the lowrider industry, one of the pioneers. So it's not just a conversation, y'all. It's a way of life. That's a call to action, meaning I can make a call and say, hey, I need y'all to do this. You know what I'm saying? The part about being successful is you got a lot of good friends. You got friends in this. And I like to test my friends and ask them to do stuff. And boy, oh boy, just don't know. When you ask them to do stuff regarding young people, you'd be surprised at the people who coming out want to help. You know, so it's just cool. You know, sometimes we got to get involved. We can't just sit back and look and complain and, oh, they ain't doing this and they ain't doing that. Man, we got to get out there. I done been to so many school board meetings, so many boring-ass meetings at that. I'm telling you, just boring. You know what I'm saying? And then you like, dang, can I get some food? And they go in there and they barely got a donut, you know? But I realized it wasn't about me. It's about they need to hear what I got to say so that they can implement that to help these young people. I'm like, we are in the auto capital of the world. California is the auto capital of the world. They sell more cars in Los Angeles, California than they in the South Bay than they do anywhere else in the world. So if you literally know how to change brakes on a car and you try to get a job, you may not find one. You may not make enough money. But if you start a little hole in the wall business, y'all, let me repeat myself. If you start a little bitty hole in the wall business where you're just changing something as simple as brakes, or you say, oh, I only want to change oil, you will become a millionaire. Do you understand what I'm saying, y'all? Because it is that many cars out here. That is why you see so many auto mechanic shops, so many transmission shops, so many muffler shops, so many auto paint shops, so many automotive electric shops, because they're on every corner. So many tire shops, so many used tire shops. Y'all, that is a multi-billion-dollar industry plus. Some of these industries are trillion-dollar industries. So why would you not put your young people in a situation where they can learn that? We tend to want our children to grow up and put on suits and ties and go sit in corporate offices. And we've missed the whole boat. We missed the point of educating our young people in the first place. Education is supposed to be about feeding your family and being able to be a homeowner, providing for yourself and living good. They ain't doing that no more. They ain't living good. They struggling. The cost of living has gotten so expensive that young people with college degrees can't even afford to live good. You got people who make $100,000 looking like they making 45 because they put 90% or a lot of their money into the rent. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They don't make enough money anymore to live here, so they jumping up, moving out of state because they ain't being taught what to do. So that's when I realized, I said, you know what? I can't let the smart people fix this. How am I gonna let a bunch of people with degrees who ain't never who ain't ran businesses, that don't understand the money, that don't know how to connect when real estate prices get high, $100,000 or $125,000 lifestyle ain't enough no more. They don't understand that. They so programmed, get an education, and that's it. Oh, you got a degree. Boom, you're done. It's not about that. It's about, are you going to make enough to purchase a home? Because if you don't make enough to purchase a home, then that's going to make you a renter. And if you're going to be a renter, then guess what's going to happen? Your landlord may decide that he wants to sell your house. So you may be moving a lot, because the landlords around the world, around America, at least in these cities being gentrified, are telling their young people, are telling their tenants, I'm about to sell. I'm about to update it. I want these SpaceX employees to come live in my place. I'm only getting $1,000 a month from you, but those guys make $300,000, so I can get $4,000 a month from them for now. So they got newspaper articles that support all of this stuff. So you got to ask yourself, when you put your young person in school, are they going to make enough money to live? Moving out of state ain't no longer an option. That's a temporary fix. That's an expensive fix that too many people realize it, and they end up moving back to California. And some of them are realizing that they waited too long. Now they can't afford to come back. Because of California's real estate is so expensive, people are moving up out of California like crazy, and they're moving to Atlanta, they're moving to Texas, they're moving to Arizona, and those prices out there are skyrocketing too. So in another 5 years, the cities that you are running to trying to live in that's affordable, they're going to be unaffordable. You hear what I'm saying? So we got to get out of the habit of telling people, oh, go rent you a place. See, that's another conversation they don't talk about in schools. They don't talk about living. They don't talk about cost of living. They don't talk about how much this stuff costs. They just say, go to college and get a degree. We got to start telling these young people, where do you want to live? You want to live in a neighborhood you grew up in, you're going to have to make over $100,000 a year. Let's do the numbers on it, y'all. That's my favorite phrase. Let's do the numbers. Let's do the numbers. Come on, y'all. I'm a numbers man. I love the money. I love talking about money, if y'all notice that. Why is that? Because you got to know. You need to know. If you realize that, if you do the numbers and you say, wait a minute, to live in California, you say, okay, I'm making $125,000 with this job here. And then all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, you don't own a home yet, because in the worst neighborhoods in Compton, hypothetically speaking, they had $500,000. You're going to quickly realize, dang, by the time you add a couple of kids, a couple of cars, and think about getting married, you're going to be living like you on Section 8 all of a sudden. You're going to be struggling. So then you're going to be like thinking that you want to buy a house. You're like, wait a minute. You can't afford to buy a home because you got student loans. $300,000 almost. Up to that, I met somebody they said $340,000. It just amazes me, because I sit back and think, I started a multi-million-dollar business, opened up to another couple of other million-dollar businesses on less than $5,000, y'all. Not just me, lots of other people. But we got to get to the point where we're telling these young people, and not just young people, adults need to know this, because if they ain't learning it in school, they ain't learning it as an adult. If they do learn it as an adult, they learn it the hard way. We got to start realizing and doing the numbers. How much does this stuff cost to live? How much are you going to need to make to live comfortably? Not just living. You don't want to just have a roof over your head. You don't want to just have okay, I got a car, I got a roof over my head, I got a couple $1,000s in my savings account. My rent is cool. My landlord is cool. He's only charging me $2,200. That ain't good enough. You want to be able to say, hey, I got my children in the best educational situations. Notice I didn't say schools, because schools ain't always the ones that's teaching the real information. You can have them in trade classes where they're learning about trades, or they hired a coach like myself to come out and teach them. You got the money to pay for that type of stuff. You want to be able to do all these things. You want to be able to put your children in situations where they can do better than you. So if your children can't do better than you, then they're going to end up struggling and homeless or living out of state. So we got to start doing the math early before they go to school, before you put them in a situation, and find out how much are they going to need to make to live. Well, you want your children to stay in California. If you want your children to stay in California, they need to learn how to make money. And the only people who are going to be staying in California is most likely business owners and celebrities. If you've been in the game long enough and you've been around people with money and they have real money, they knew 20 years ago that California is going to be for the wealthy. You're going to have money. You're going to have to be some type of business owner or some type of investor in real estate or something to be able to afford to live in California, because they're going to make this place Hollywood from the top to the bottom. You know, y'all know when I got a little time on my hand, I like to come out here and just talk. So I'm waiting on something. So I'm going to just talk to y'all if that's okay. What makes money? What does money look like, first of all? Because some people think $60,000 is a lot of money. That ain't enough to rent an apartment no more. You know, living comfortably is not. Oh, I'm listening to that PA. But, yeah, so auto mechanics, big money, y'all. Like I said, I'm up here at Centennial High School in Compton, where I graduated from. We got the auto mechanic shop back here, so I come up here and volunteer. I make phone calls. I do what I can to make sure these young people gonna learn some stuff, not just that traditional school book stuff. They need to know what's going on out here in this low riding world. They need to know. I come up here and talk about low riding. I talk about movies. I talk about TV shows, commercials, videos. I talk about all the ways that people making money out here with these cars. So a lot of times they teaching these young people, when you got a car, when you got an auto mechanic, oh, you're going to end up working at AutoZone. I'm sorry, AutoZone or Pep Boys or something, and they only pay you $70,000 a year. That's not enough money. Really? Okay, check this out. So when you tell when you're telling a young person that's what they can do, that's what they're going to do, and they're going to believe you, and they're going to go do that. They're never going to know the real ways that they can make money. So what do I mean by real ways? If you got an auto mechanics, you know about cars, and you start a little business, you can make money out of your mama's backyard, out of your garage, out of your carport, fixing cars. Okay, what does money look like? Money to me looks like 6+ figures a year, meaning 200,000 or 300,000. That's what it's taking to live comfortably in America. In California, in the South Bay. LA County, let me be more specific. California is not expensive. LA County is expensive. You can go to places like Bakersfield, Palmdale, Moreno Valley, Paris, California, Lake LA, Little Rock, California, Hesperia, and buy big, giant, nice, brand new homes. But of course, you're going to have to commute into LA. But if you start a business in those cities, you'll be doing well. You move out to Hesperia and start an auto shop. You move out to Victorville and start a little hole in the wall auto shop. Oh my gosh, you'll be a millionaire. You turn around and you take my training class and I show you how to run a business, and you turn around and start opening up multiple businesses and grow with the community. When I moved to Palmdale back in the days, people were looking at me crazy because I was opening up shops. I was like, because I didn't have no competition. I asked questions. I say, how many people live out here in Palmdale? I think they told me 500,000, 500,000, maybe been less than that. But then I watched it grow to be more than that. So then I realized, I said, man, I can open up more shops around here. You know, it's a lot we can do. We can open up more businesses. So I see a lot of people complaining about what they don't have. Oh, they don't have a donut shop. They don't have a dance studio. They don't have, I'd be like, dude, that's you depressed about it. That's exciting to my ears. I'm like, really? They don't have a donut shop out there? In my mind, I'd be like, ooh, who can I put in a donut shop? I'm going to open up the first donut shop. I love to be the first person to do stuff because you can lock it up. You can open up a donut shop in all the key places. See, I show people how to do that to where Winchell's and all the rest of them cats won't come out there because they're going to be like, he got all the good spots. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to try to buy him out or buy her out, you know, like they did me. They was like, man, we can't open up another shop out there because TJ got it on lock. So they had to come to me and say, man, what you want for this? You know? And that's how this game works. Put yourself in a situation to create wealth. Don't put yourself in a situation to get a good job. That's a low-level way of thinking. Then people say, oh, business ownership is not easy. Yeah, that's a lot of people talking that ain't never had a business. I ain't never seen people who own businesses, successful businesses, talk about you shouldn't do it. I ain't never seen that. I only hear people who ain't never had a business telling you that business ownership is not easy. Well, yeah, okay, let me kind of jump in on that a little bit. Business ownership is not easy when you making a bunch of money and you can't tell nobody because they bragging. We got doctors running around here with the doctor name in front of the doctor initials in front of their name, and they head is way up here. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They think they better than you, but then you ask them, how much are you making, Mr. Doctor? Oh, I make $150,000 a year. You're thinking, shit, I make $550 a year. I had a bad year last year and only made $555 or something. And they be like, you can't tell them that because they know you don't have a degree. You're an auto body guy. You work on cars. You own a little hole in the wall tire shop. So they look down on you. You know what I mean? They don't realize that this guy or this woman is making more money than me. But nobody's going to really brag about that. So we tend to let these dude out there popping willies. Yep, we in Compton. My brother, that's the Willie guys. But anyway, long story short, getting back to it. I got some time to kill on my hands, y'all, so I'm just hanging out. But getting back to it, California, LA County is getting so expensive. They're pushing the prices up all over the country because people don't know what to do. So the first thing they do is they heard about Atlanta's cheap. Atlanta's very affordable. You can get a $100,000 house out there. People jump on the plane, fly and move and tow all their stuff out there. Then they get out there and they realize, damn, it's too expensive. It's not what I thought it was. It's not what they thought it was. Then they want to move back. So what's going on now? Because of the abundance of people moving to, it ain't Atlanta. Most people ain't moving to Atlanta. They say they live in Atlanta, but they don't. They live in the suburbs of Atlanta, hypothetically speaking, like the Palmdale or the places like that of Atlanta. An hour and a half, an hour out of Atlanta, you know? So long story short, the prices to live out there in Texas and all these different places is going through the roof. So the moves that you make have to be very strategic. You know, you can't just talk to a person that's going to teach you about how to do this. You got to talk to a person that tells you about how to identify real estate, where to buy, when to buy, what not to buy, how much to pay. That's what I teach people. You got to teach people how are people making money nowadays. What is money? High 6 figures and 7 figures. See, that's what people don't, that's what they don't do. They just want to know, where can I get a good job? Who's hiring? Why would you be doing that in a time of wealth right now? We got more people making more money than they ever have before in history because of all this technology and this social media. You can say, how can I become a millionaire? Is a good question. In this economy, people ask me that all the time, and I tell them, real estate. I tell them, working on cars, owning a shop, education, meaning we got a lot of people coming out of these colleges. We got a lot of people coming out, dropping out of school early. So we got a lot of people opening up these charter schools and these training centers. You know, Y'all hear what I'm saying? That's what I want to put together. I want to put together a slew of training centers across the country and teach people what I know. Meaning when you come check in my school, you're going to turn around, or my training camp, you're going to turn around and you're being taught how to be a multimillionaire. We're not talking about how to make a good job. We're talking about how to create wealth. You're going to come to me, you're going to learn how to do real estate investments. You're going to learn what to buy, when to buy, what not to buy, and how to buy it, etc. Not just buy, but build it. I teach people about building houses from the ground up. So in that, I talk to people about money. Okay, investing in these cars is good money. Investing in people starting businesses is good money. Investing in people who want to make movies is great money. You know, I teach people where the money is. Sometimes we need to have wealth coaches. I know so many people. Then you got people who running around here telling people, oh, it's too expensive to invest in businesses. It's too expensive to do this. It's too expensive to do that. That's always the person that's never done it. So, you know, it's always the person that's never done it. So what I do is I coach people and show them things that they don't know about. Right now, what's going on in the world right now is documentaries, movies. People making a lot of money on these movies. Like, for example, that Blair Witch Project came out. They put $50,000 into it. How's it going? They put $50,000 into it. Y'all see that? They put $50,000 in the Blair Witch Project, and I think it grossed at like $400 or $500 million by now. More than that, probably. Boy, I'm having flashbacks. So when the police was coming up here back in the day, they were looking for me and my friends. How about that? But anyway, there's so much money being made. We got to start getting back to investing in our community because it's a major movement. It's a major movement going on right now out here. This technology has opened up the door for people to create wealth. So for you to be asking about how can I get a good job, who's hiring in this economy, it's like you coming in there to a place with abundance where trillions of dollars is being made and you're asking for a job. You're coming in with an employee mindset and they're looking down on you, and that's why it's a problem. I read an article the other night. I forgot I got all black on. I am at an auto shop, y'all. I forgot. I forgot. I got an article the other night I read, and it said robots will be replacing 800 million employees by 2000 something. Robots, y'all. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So if you're in a situation where your job can be replaced by a robot, you need to be thinking about that. And what can you do? You need to be calling me up, let me coach you, tell you about this money. Oh, you know what I really want to talk about? Y'all got to keep in mind, I'm very on high alert, looking around. So that's what I'll be doing when I'm out here. But I'm in Compton, at the schools, looking at everything, people going by, walking by. I'm just like, sometimes I think I'm kind of caught up in the past. Sometimes it seems like I'm like, dang, is this 89, 88, 86? 87, 86. So my mom could don't trip off me. I'm good though. But anyway, long story short, we got to look at teaching ourselves, learning. We got to get out of thinking that, and people hate when I say that. Let me stop saying it. College is not the save all. I'm going to keep telling y'all that. College is not the save all. When someone says he or she has to get a good education, an education can be taught on YouTube. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I like how when this dryer had broke, years ago, a friend of mine's dryer had broke, and I was bored. I had a whole lot of time on my hand for a couple days. I literally went on YouTube and punched in the serial number off of that dryer and said, how to fix my dryer. Serial number 324 Model A, Emerson or whatever it was. Do you know it popped right up? Oh, typical thing when these dryers break, it's the such and such service valve. You can buy that valve for $15.25. It'll take you 2.3 hours to take the whole thing apart and put it back together. So I had the thought in my mind, okay, if I took my day off, a few hours to take it apart, go get the $15 piece and put it back together, well, that saved my friend $600 or $700. Yeah, that was cool. Took that thing apart so fast and put it right back together so fast, and that was 2 or 3 years ago. They still got it now. Y'all hear what I just said? I went on YouTube and learned how to do that. Now they got people on YouTube. If your car breaks and your water pump go out, just punch in your number, your model number. I got a 2008 Mercedes E350 V8 blah blah blah, and my water pump went out. How to fix that? Boom, 6 or 7 different videos pop up. Oh, it's going to take you 5 hours and 6 minutes, and you're going to need the water pump model number 3A. It's going to cost you $89.99. This is, you take these 12 bolts off, and you got to remove this first, and then you remove that. Next thing you know, you done did that at home in your garage. But you call the dealer like, oh, that's $1,500. Y'all see what I'm saying? All of this stuff is on YouTube. So I ask people again, what does education look like? People be like, you got to go to a good college. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm not trying to sit here and blast colleges. I just want to get the real information out so that we won't continue to have these problems with young people failing in life because they thought they did it all right. I get people telling me all the time, TJ, I went to school, I got my degree, I got a master's degree, I did this, I did that, and I ain't found a job yet. I'm still struggling. Or I got people who found a job and they like, man, I did all of this stuff and I didn't know that it was going to be so expensive to live. I'm thinking about moving to Louisiana. I'd be like, what? You know, it's like all you got to do is make a couple of small investments and everything's different. So what's going on? What does an investment look like? We got to start telling these people this is what you do. Instead of you turning around buying your first home, why don't you buy your first apartment building, fourplex, and move in there with your wife and your children or yourself? You rent out, you live in one, you rent the other 3 out. All of a sudden, you're making a profit and you're living for free because most likely one tenant in today's market will be paying all the mortgage for the whole building. So now you living in one and the other 2 are rented out also. Now that is, you're operating at a profit. That's probably going to be $3,000 to $4,000 a month additional. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So, of course, that means you got to buy an apartment building for the right numbers. A lot of these apartment buildings in LA are overpriced. They got bidding wars on them. So what are you left to do? You do not have to buy an apartment here locally. First of all, you want to try to build one. You want to buy land. Buy an old raggedy house somewhere. That's me giving up my class now. Buy a raggedy house in the neighborhood. It don't even have to be raggedy. You just had to get it for the right price. In a neighborhood where they're allowing people to build fourplexes, units at. Because California got 10 million more people coming by 2050. So they changing the zoning saying, hey, you can tear stuff down and tear these older houses down and put up fourplexes or put up eightplexes. I only want to buy houses in situations like that. I want it to be zoned where I could tear down and put up a fourplex, hypothetically speaking. So we got to start learning to do stuff like that instead of saying, oh, I want a house with some granite and big 4-bedroom and a nice remodeled kitchen and bathroom. I want something that I could tear down and put a fourplex up and make money hand over fist renting out. Appreciate y'all. I'm waiting on my class students and them to get here. I'm going to let y'all see what we doing later on today. Gonna have some amazing things. It's field trip day, y'all. Y'all know I'm excited. So, real estate wise, get out of the trying to buy a house in this economy. Too many people don't know if they're gonna have a job tomorrow. So get out of that trying to buy your dream home for your first home or a nice home for your first home. Buy or build an apartment building. Buy some land and build it yourself cheaper. A number one way to make money right now is construction and automotive. Buy some land, learn how to build. Maxine Waters, matter of fact, Maxine Waters teaches construction. She has a class, a carpentry class. Somebody else teaches construction. They starting to open back up, y'all. These are the new ways to create wealth. You learn how to work on cars. You learn how to build a house from the ground up. Don't look for a job. Start a business. You will become a millionaire. In this economy, houses are almost at $1 million right now. So you want to invest. You want to become an investor. Get out of the mindset of people are running around here lying to me. Oh, a house is not an investment. Your house is not an investment. Yes, it is. That's the biggest purchase you're going to make in your life. Your house is an investment. Let me go check on it. Your house is an investment. So that's the biggest purchase you're going to make in your life. So why would it not be an investment? You need to buy something. They only say that in the black communities. You need to buy something that is going to make you some money. Yes, you wanted to make a roof over your head, but you wanted to make you some money. Create wealth. So, for example, instead of me buying the big giant house in Palmdale, the young people are here. Instead of me buying a big giant house in Palmdale, what's going on over here? Excuse me. How you doing? All right, I'm going to say this before I get up out of here, y'all. Instead of buying a big old giant house, beautiful turnkey house in Palmdale or something, hypothetically speaking, buy a little condo here in Inglewood. Y'all hear what I just said? Instead of buying a big giant house in Palmdale that's beautiful, that you would love to live in, that your friends are going to love, even though they ain't going to help you pay your mortgage, buy a little bitty condo here in Inglewood. And that condo in Inglewood is going to be worth way more money than that house in Palmdale or Moreno Valley or wherever else is going to be. So it's strategic moves like that we got to make. You may want a 4-bedroom house and you're trying to save up for that. But today you can afford to buy a 1-bedroom condo. Buy the condo. It's going to make you a lot more money in areas that's fast growing. Inglewood, Hawthorne areas, the fastest growing areas. Los Angeles, the avenues, fast growing area. Inglewood avenues, fast growing areas, y'all. So, what am I saying? We got to be more strategic with what we do and how we do it. Too many people are just doing and don't know what they're doing. So we got to know what we're doing. So people are making a whole lot of bad moves and then don't understand why they're going broke. And I'm going to say this before I get out of here. People are looking at the baby boomers did good. They went to college. They got good jobs. They got they homeowners. And I say it all the time, y'all. They did good because college was free back then. Some people paid $50,000 to go to college for the whole 4 years back then in the baby boomer era. They turned around and bought $12,000 homes. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They bought $12,000 homes. I know people who bought homes from $8,000 to $20,000 back in the days. So guess what happens when you get a home for that cheap? And over the years, now the homes are worth $600,000 and $700,000 and $800,000, depending on where they went, where they purchased them at. So therefore, when the bank looks at your name, they will run your credit without your knowledge. You may not even have a credit card, but when they see that you own homes and real estate, you own land in key areas that got $500,000 in equity, they're going to send you credit cards. That's why you got people out here with $100,000, $200,000 worth of credit cards and up. So we're looking at them like, oh, college worked for them. College, my uncle and my aunt is doing great because college worked for them. Did college really work for them, or did they buy a house in a great time? Yes, they did. Now college is costing our young people $160,000 to $300,000 and something thousand, and houses are $500,000 and $600,000. Y'all hear what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard to get credit. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Edwards. Yes, we can learn because times have changed. Hello, Miss Rashonda. Let me look at this. Appreciate that, y'all. L.A. Hughes in the house. What's up, y'all? So anyway, I say all that to say times has changed. So it's time to change the game. It's time to change the way of thinking. It's time to change the way we think. So we cannot depend on our we cannot depend on our school systems to teach our young people what to do. We have to go into the schools and tell these schools what's going on in the real world, and not just tell them. We have to start teaching it ourselves. So if you know what's going on and you see something going on, you got to do what I did. You got to get into the school and go in there and let them know. I hit them with so many compelling facts that was undisputable and asked them, are you cool with raising a whole race, a whole breed, a whole generation of non-homeowners? Are y'all okay with that? You cool with a bunch of young people struggling and not going to have a place to live? Yeah, teaching does start at home, but if you got a bunch of people who don't know what to do, we got a lot of people who think they own a home, they're okay. People driving out to Palmdale, they buying homes in Palmdale. They don't even know what to do. I got homeowners who got real estate and don't got it rented out for the money that they could be getting. I got homeowners, people who got a lot of money and they go out and buy things and they bought dumb things. They didn't realize, dang, I shouldn't have bought that. I spent $550,000 on a house in Palmdale when I could have bought a condo in Inglewood, hypothetically speaking, across the street from the Raiders Stadium, the Rams or whatever they call it, or what the Chargers is going to be. They're going to have the 2028 Olympics there. The real estate is going to skyrocket over the next 5 years. You buy a house in Palmdale in 5 years, it'll be worth $1 million. You buy a house in Inglewood, a condo in Inglewood for $550, same price as you would have bought the one in Palmdale for. In 5 years, it's going to be worth $2 million. Ask yourself, which one makes more sense? You don't have to sell anything. You can keep it. So, yes, things start at home, but the information that our baby boomers learned needs to be wiped away. Go to school, get a good job, get rid of all of that. Hire a personal wealth coach. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Hire a personal wealth coach to teach your children right now. Hire me to come in and sit down weekly and teach your children something of what's going on in the economy and how to make money. We can't turn around and get raised with an employee mindset. That's what's wrong with a lot of our people. They got employee mindsets. So when they make a little bit of money and they get a little bit ahead, they think they're doing great. Y'all hear what I'm saying? A little bit of money is 100,000 to me, 150,000, 200,000. That is a little bit of money. So when a lot of people get that kind of money, they're like, oh, I'm doing great. I can't ask for nothing else. Why not? Don't you like yachts? Don't you like boats? Wouldn't you like to have a private jet? Wouldn't you like to have a private jet? You know, and don't get me started. I'm not finna hate on nobody. You got a lot of people who teaching the game, and it's the wrong game. They don't even know. If you never ran, people tell me, if you ain't got no money, how you gonna teach me how to make money? If you ain't got no house, how you gonna teach me how to buy a house? I hear people say that all the time. But if you never ran a business, how you gonna teach me how to run a business? The same principles apply, right? But I don't hear people doing that. So I see people out here teaching things that's never ran a business. And y'all ain't paying attention to that. So when you come to a person like me, I ran the lowriding industry for 20-something years. To this day, I'm over here putting it in schools, going to the schools saying, put this in the schools. We need this. Here's why. Your average person don't have that level of information because they've never ran a business like I have. I got 20 years plus under my belt. I can sit here and explain to you, what do you do when someone opens up a business just like you next door to you? Well, you got to deal with people who's actually done it. That's why I say our business owners, y'all hear what I'm saying? Our business owners should be our teachers. The business owners should be the teachers to start businesses, not somebody who's got a college degree in business. That's a big difference. Hey, brother, what's up, teacher? How you doing there? All right, all right. You ready to go have some fun today?
Oh, definitely.
Man, what's going on? How y'all doing? All right, all right, all right. You know, it's gotta watch who you learn the game from, y'all. I ain't no hater. I'm just trying to tell y'all what's going on. I see a lot of people thinking because people got great websites, they got degrees, they got what do you call it, letters in front of their name. Oh, this is gonna be the best person to teach me something. That's the biggest bamboozle in the game, y'all. That's called locking you into the mindset. You stuck in the matrix, so they're gonna keep you in the matrix. So when you think you're coming out of the matrix, you don't even know what out of the matrix looks like. Because you're so programmed that some of us will only follow people who got a degree. That's what I'm talking about. If you know, whatever you know, Mr. Edwards, whatever we know, we should be teaching young people how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you started a framing business. Well, if you started a framing business, that's probably a multi-billion-dollar industry. They got pictures that be hanging on the wall. That's expensive. You know, or I don't know if you're talking about real estate, framing houses. That's long. That's multi-million-dollar money there. Miss Jones, you here? Okay, how you doing? How y'all doing? King Addy, what's going on? I need to holler at you, good brother. I got some people coming to town. We want to put them on the radio. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk some business with some new people that's coming in January. I'll holler at you about it though. Y'all see what I'm saying? People look at me. Why is TJ a good wealth coach? A wealth coach for me is not someone who could teach me something and give me a bunch of information and give me some pamphlets and some booklets and I took a bunch of notes. Hell, you even record people talking. That's not good enough nowadays. We got situations going on where you need to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody. So you need to be able to have someone hold your hand along the way. So you got to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, these instructions you gave me, they're changed. They're different now. They just updated it like they keep doing in January of 2018. Please trust and believe there's going to be a lot of new laws that's going to come out. So old information that we're being taught will be outdated in 2018 January. So ways of making money is going to be changed. You know, so fast forward the story. What do I do? What does coaching look like for me? I'm not only coaching people, I'm placing people with people. So I will teach you the game and say, here is my homeboy. He got a radio show. He can help you promote it. Here's my other homegirl. She has this. She can help you with that. Tell them I sent you. Matter of fact, let me three-way you and put you on the phone with them. It is not an old game, new game, y'all. This is old way of doing things. All this new stuff I be looking at people. Come on, you need the gold package. You need the platinum package. Ain't none of that got hands on. You want to talk to someone and hang out with them? Oh, you gonna pay $100,000 to do stuff like that? Direct connection with the person? That's crazy, y'all. Y'all paying too much for information. And I know this because they trying to pull me into this. They're like, TJ, you out there giving away the information. You're giving it away too cheap. I say, no, I'm out here actually trying to help people. I'm not like everybody else. Yeah, I would love to be a multi-billionaire and all of that kind of stuff. I would love to have all that. But you know what? Not at the cost of people who I'm trying to help can't afford it. I like to come make sure these schools is getting done the right way. Back in the days, we used to send money to these schools and put it into these nonprofits, and then we turn around years later and wonder, what happened to the money? I thought y'all was supposed to do this. And they always got an excuse. So I realized after all those years, I said, you know what? You don't have to do it yourself. I got to go out there and sit down and figure out where the money going. Sit down and figure out why is stuff not getting done. All right, y'all, I'm about to get up in here and make it happen. Y'all tune in later. I'm going to let y'all see what we doing today. Appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. I'm gonna holler back at y'all later. Out here talking to these young people. Y'all know what I do.